Gunner King, let me put you a scenario. I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to go around robin before we close on this question, right? Let's say Arsenal don't win anything this year, right? Let's say we have a trophyless season. We've missed out on everything again, right? What do you think we will come closer to winning in this season? The Premier League or the Champions League, and why?
This is going to sound crazy, but I actually think the Champions League, for a number of reasons. I think what you touched on there with the three players that you picked out is a big part. Saliba, Gabriel, and Declan Rice. We know, the age-old adage, yeah, which is goals win you games, defenses win you titles. Yeah, and when you look at how certain teams have won the Champions League, like Chelsea, for example, their two Champions League wins. Yeah, there was the flair there. There was the attacking verve in some of the players that they had. They had Drogba's and players like this. But what was a hallmark of both of those wins was their defense. Like whether it was Terry and Carvalho, more recent years when it was Rudiger, Christiansen, I think was very good for him as well. I think defensively this season we've conceded the fewest amount of goals in the Premier League. We've kept the most clean sheets, the lowest XGA conceded to opponents as well. We are literally, we played against Man City. Fair enough, they didn't have some of their players. We played against Liverpool. They both only had one shot on target at the Emirates. These are two of the best teams in Europe at the moment. And I just think defensively, we have that bit about us where we can see out games. We're managing game states better with these three players. And I think the intensity and the pace of the Champions League is a lot different to the Premier League. And I think why you're seeing English teams get into the final and doing so well over the last couple of years, the intensity and the pace that we play the game at is so frenetic. It's so much faster than the rest of Europe. In terms of the pressing, the fitness that is needed, to do that whilst juggling a league campaign. I think we've got that in spades, especially with this young team, and with the final being at Wembley. And when you look at Arsenal's record at Wembley, listen, haters, if we get to that final in Wembley, you're in big trouble. Because when you look at our record at Wembley, some of the teams that we've beaten in the last 10 years, okay, they're only FA Cups. We beat, sort of Chelsea and City when we were on our absolute knees and they were living their best life. You look at all the FA Cups that we've won in the last, sort of decade, Charity Shield games. I don't think Arteta's lost a game at Wembley, might I add, as well, in all of his time here at Arsenal. So I think with it being at Wembley as well, I'm from like Perivale, Harrow, just round the corner. My mum was from Ealing. It's like a big community of Arsenal fans in that area of northwest London, and we're all going to be there in force. Like if we get to that final, it's going to be as good as a home fixture. Like when you consider whoever we're playing against, we're going to have a big turnout, big noise. The 12th man is going to be in our corner. I actually think, like in terms of City and Liverpool dropping points in this title race compared to anything being possible in knockout tie competitions, I actually think it's the Champions League that we have actually got a better chance in for all these reasons. And with our attack clicking as well at the right time, and with the players that we've got returning, we've got Partey coming back, we've got Timber coming back, we've got Tomiyasu coming back, we've got Vieira coming back. Like we've got ESR returning to fitness. It's all happening at the right time. And I'm just thinking, you know what? You're looking at Bayern Munich, 3 losses in a week. You're looking at City. We've beaten them this season, but they're still not looking at their best relative to last season. I'm looking at those teams. Okay, I think Inter Milan might be tough as well. Other than that, I mean, even those teams, I would say I respect, but I don't fear the way Arsenal are playing. Whereas, the quality of the Champions League now compared to 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, it's not the same. It's not the same. And I think, when you put all these variables together, I actually think that's where I put my money, as crazy as it sounds, even though, our history in Europe isn't great. I just think this team is built more for cup competition in terms of how it deals with transitions. And yeah, I actually think that we got a great chance this year to bring it home.
Listen, I hope you're right, man. Well, I want to win both. I'm greedy, but
Yeah.
if we had to pick one, then I kind of do feel I've said from the start that I think the Champions League is the one that would be easier to win. But Kenny, let me throw it to you because it's mad for me to say it like that, right? Because the reason I think we've got a chance of winning the Champions League is the same reason that I don't think we've got a chance. Now that doesn't make sense, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. The reason I think we've got a chance is because it's a draw and it's a knockout game. The reason I don't think we got a chance is because it's a draw and it's a knockout game, right? So for me, you've got an
Yeah.
unbelievable chance of knocking Man City out of
Oh.
a competition instead of trying to compete with them for the league. But at the same time, you can easily get knocked out yourself. But I do feel that if I had to pick one that I would fancy a chance with, the league, Man City have shown me no evidence that they can throw that away in the last 3 years. But they have shown me in the last few years, other than the one just gone, that they can throw away the Champions League and lose at semis or quarterfinal stages. So I don't know, man. I've always thought the same as Gunnar King that potentially Champions League. But what are you saying, bro?
You know what? Perversely, I'm the other way around. I think the league is our best chance of winning something because of the reasons, the way we're playing, the fact that we're playing football that's conducive to winning the league. You know, the performances we've shown in the last 5 games is conducive to winning the league. The way we're battering teams is conducive to winning the league. The teams we're going to play, in terms of the quality we're going to face in the league, is not going to be as the high levels of Champions League. I look at the games that are going to be difficult for us in the league. Without a shadow of doubt, the game on the 31st, it's Man City, is a 6-pointer. And then you've got the North London derby as well, where Spurs could be going for the top 4 in his Ange ball, and the fact that they don't want us to win the league at their ground, so that's going to be hard. And Man United, for some reason, they play like Brazil whenever they play us at Old Trafford. But apart from that, I'm very confident that we can see out the rest of the fixtures. I do accept that we haven't got any margin for error because of the form of Man City, because of their pedigree, and Liverpool as well, because Liverpool have been as well. So that's where I'm coming. In terms of Champions League, our record in Europe, petrifies me. I understand we're in great form. I look at the other teams in Europe. Yeah, Porto haven't got the a big team this year, but they do have better European pedigree than us in terms of the Champions League. They won it twice, and I still think that Real Madrid are one of the best teams in the tournament. I look at Real Madrid and look how they're playing in Europe. Not only do they play with a bit of panache and flair, they also strong defensively as well, as strong as us defensively. So I do think that that's going to be difficult. Man City, the perverse thing about Man City and Arsenal is that their records against English clubs is quite similar. Man City, having beaten an English club in the Champions League that they faced, lost to Tottenham, lost to Liverpool, and us, we've lost to every English club we played. Lost to Chelsea, lost to Liverpool, we lost to Man United. So, that's going to be like the derby of the first English team to beat a club from another country. So that'd be a kind of 50-50 game. But I do think there are stronger teams in the Champions League still in terms of pedigree. I still think Bayern Munich do have that kind of goal threat that can cause us problems as well. So that's why, perversely, I do think even if we get past Porto, it's still going to be very difficult. But if we win the Champions League with the teams we're going to come up against, Real, Bayern Munich, Man City, and who knows? You never know what you're going to get with PSG as well. I think it's going to be our greatest achievement ever. I think because of simple reasons that I do think the Champions League is the hardest competition to win. Not saying the league's easier because we haven't won that for 20 years either. But I look at the teams we're going to play, with the exception of those 3 games away from home. I do think the league's our better chance of winning it. But I do accept that we've got no margin for error. And Man City they're a machine, aren't they? Last season they had similar points, and they went on and won it. People saying they're on the wane last season, and people saying they're quite on the wane because they dropped points at Chelsea. Look what happened. They have that je ne sais quoi about going into the straight in both competitions. But yeah, I want the league more than anything else because I want to be able to tell people who have doubts about whether Arsenal's a big club that we are the 3rd biggest club in the country. But I need currency. I need a currency of winning the league.
I think Champions League does that for us too, and it's the only trophy we haven't won.
But in terms of the league, you're the best. It's not disputed. The Champions League is a cup competition. Don't get me wrong. Credit to Chelsea for winning it twice. Got respect for that.
Lucky against Bayern the first one, but yeah.
Credit to Spurs to get the cup to the final, and credit for us for getting the final in 2006. But I think when you win the league, there's no dispute. No one can argue about whether you're the best. You've won the league. You've proved it after 38 games.
So,
you can't.
I just want to ask a question: if we win the league and Man City wins the Champions League, what do you think that argument is then? If we say we're the best, don't you think Man City fans would be saying we're champions?
Over 38 games. Over 38 games, it's undisputed. It's undisputed. This isn't 1968 when Man City won the league and Man United won the European Cup and the better team. I still think after us not winning it 20 years, I think winning the league is a bigger achievement. Don't get me wrong. I hear where you're coming from because we've never won a Champions League.
I've seen five
big
leagues
clubs around Europe. If you want to be called a big crowd around Europe, you've got to have to cover the big ears. I get it. Yeah. I want it as well. But I want the league.
For me, I've seen 5 league titles, 9 FA Cups, 2 cup, 2 Carabao Cups, a Cup Winners' Cup, 9 Charity Shields. It's the Champions League, Europa League, Club World Cup, and Super Cup. That's the only 4 things I'm left to see, and I need to see those things, man. That's it. Then I could die happy, man. You know what I mean? Then I've seen everything.
Yeah,
you know what I
mean? I can see both arguments. I really can see both arguments. But in terms of like the question you guys asked about where we can win a Champions League, I have my reservations. But I'll be the one. I'll be coming around yours at before the final. What day is it? In June, isn't it? Yeah, who knows? Yeah. We might go. We might. I don't know. I'll be buying anyway. I'll probably take it to either Chinese.
If we make the final, I'm selling my kidney to go to the game.
I'll definitely want that. But I do think the league's probably our best chance for some reason.
I think when people say to me, "What do you prefer?" I'm like, always say league all the time, right?
Really,
but this season to shut people up, I just feel like Champions League is just going to shut the hell everyone up.
Do you have
like thrown at me, Kenny? Do you know what I mean? Oh, you ain't won nothing in Europe.
You spent some time with Chelsea fans, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, but come on, you're part of the world. You've got a few Chelsea fans that are going, you'll never sing that. You'll never sing that.
Yeah,
ignore them, mate. Ignore them.
No, that's that. Every time I hear that song,
you're from West London. I get it.
Like, all
right. Here.
And I've started seeing a girl now who's a Liverpool fan as well, so I've got her yapping in my ear saying the same thing as well. Like.
Babs is from West London as well, so he gets it as well. I'm sorry, I apologise for all the West London.
We get in the neck from these fans. Can't lie, man.
Let me come to a close with you, Babs. You've heard everyone's opinions, mate. Champions League, can we get close? Premier League, can we get close? And what one, if we don't win either, what one do you think we'll get closer to, bro? Oh, you're on mute. Is that me?
My bad. I think we're closer to the Premier League title for sure. I think we've got a more consistent team for that, and we've had more experience for that as well. So when it comes to the latter parts of the season, in April and May, we're used to it. We had it last year. We had more experience in that. Champions League is different because when we get to the Bernabeu and we're in the 70th minute and it's 1-1 and we need a goal, we're not used to that. So we'll see how the team responds. I think if we win the Champions League, we need to be perfect. We need to go to every game with good form, and that's going to be hard to get. You have to definitely get lucky. I mean, when Chelsea won the Champions League in 2021, there was a lot of luck involved there because they were in good form at the right time and got the right teams. So for us to win the Champions League, it's a bit unpredictable. For us to win the league title, I kind of still expect it. I know it's a difficult race with City and Liverpool, but it's more in our control. Whereas the Champions League might give you a random team out of nowhere, while the Man City might get an easier draw, vice versa. So that unpredictability means it's very hard for me to even say, let's beat Porto first. That's the most important thing. Get that done with. Then we can have the talks again. But Premier League title for me, I'm still putting us as second favourites and slightly behind Man City. And I'm actually very confident we can go and do it now.
I think a lot of people are underplaying Liverpool because, I mean, Kenny Ken didn't even mention Liverpool, and obviously Jurgen Klopp's farewell.
Champions League, because I know it.
Sorry?
No, for the league. For the league.
Liverpool won the Champions League.
It's a 3-horse race. I think if it was just Man City, a bit more confidence. But because
No,
it's
Liverpool,
3,
yeah. Liverpool, yeah, you're right. Liverpool definitely have
they're really good. They've come back
underrated.
into
Yeah,
form,
I
and
agree. But
this is last season. So I mean, look at the refs
100%.
already giving them favors with that non-penalty decision over the weekend. We're going to see way more than that in the next few weeks.
The
The
game
thing
was
with
done,
Liverpool
but
is
I'd
their
say on that
defenses
penalty
are
when the
going to
game
let them
was
down for
Liverpool
me.
were a better team from start to finish. That penalty
Which one?
would have made a
Yeah,
difference.
no, I
really.
know, but you get my point. They're
Yeah, I
going to
hear
be
you,
there.
mate. Oh yeah,
No,
there's no doubt about
Liverpool are a good side. I just don't think their defense is amazing. And I think when you win one
No,
league title, you have to have a very good defense, and that's why Mikel Arteta has gone defense first this season.
They've got a lot of injuries at the moment as well.
Yeah, they're injuries, man. Alisson, Trent
Yeah.
Alexander-Arnold,
Yeah,
Jota.
Yeah, so have we.
and-
Partey, Jesus, Timber,
Jones.
get on with
Yeah,
it.
but they still got
Yeah, but what I'm
Robertson
saying is
in
that
the
could be we could see a different Liverpool now that they are injured, Babs, is what I'm saying. Like, it
Yeah,
could.
and there you go. So it can get worse as well.
Yeah,
Look,
they got the
they're
point,
definitely in the
though.
conversation. I'm not going to deny that. I just think in
Yeah,
terms of
there's
City and
no-
Arsenal, they're both more organised.
I didn't neglect to mention Liverpool. What I did is that whenever you talk about Premiership titles in the last sort of since Pep's got the camp, you always talk about Man City, and sometimes you
100%.
forget Liverpool. But I do think Liverpool. Look, the other day Liverpool got the currency that everyone hasn't got. They got the points. They got Luton tomorrow, regardless of whether they're going to smash Luton. You know, obviously they're going to rest a few players because of the Carabao Cup final, but it'll be one of the biggest shocks if Luton get anything at Anfield because they've still got Salah. They still got. I think Nunez is going to play. They still got.
Lokonga masterclass. Come on.
We couldn't wait to get rid of him.
If we scored a winner, could you imagine that?
He could do, but I do think Liverpool are going to, win comfortably tomorrow. So going into that game against Newcastle, they still got that caution where obviously if we beat Newcastle, we're going to get it down to 2 points. But I do think that their first 11 is still strong enough to see them through the line. I think they'll probably neglect the sacrifice to the Europa League for the league and probably the FA Cup. I don't think that's because, as you said, they got the injuries. What does Klopp want more? He wants to go out winning the Premiership. So I do think they're going to prioritise that more than.
I think they're still just dangerous going forward. They're able to just score goals, and with Salah back, I mean, you saw he came back and already 2 goals and assists. So for me, I think I agree with Babs. Defensively, nowhere near what they used to be, but I think they just score so many goals for me, and so I still think they're going to be up there. And just quickly,
I wouldn't be surprised they win it.
Sorry,
I wouldn't be surprised they win it.
Oh yeah, I mean, for sure they'll beat Luton. I just want to see Sambi Lokonga score and then lift up his shirt and have an Arsenal shirt underneath.
For us. Did he ever score for us? When he was
No,
for
he
us?
didn't.
No.
Even Tavares scored goals for us.
If he scores the winner against Liverpool tomorrow, it's a lifetime contract. I don't care.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I don't think so, mate. I don't think so.
Nah, he won't score, but I'm hoping he has a good game.